Hi there, welcome to Scooch Bomb Commentaries. My name is David Baron von Fabulous Lark,
My name is Callum of the Good Doctor Young.
and we're here to bring you another episode of the Keyforge Premier League. This time it is week 6, and do you want to tell us who we've got playing today, Callum?
Yep, so we're getting a game from Group E, where current undefeated group leader Lorenzo from the Hamburg Atlanteans taking on EASYGALLINA.
Indeed, we
Who's
do. We're going to talk
Italy?
about Lorenzo's decks first. Now, a couple of
Yep.
decks we've commented on quite a few times by this point over both the KFPL this season and on the Keyforge online team event. You may have seen some previous videos of that.
They've just been pretty fun to watch pretty
Mm,
consistently.
definitely have been, yeah.
So starting off with this one, we have Violent Valley Agent Randolph.
Indeed, we do. I'll take your word for it there.
What's the word of Google Translate?
Right. Well, always had never led us astray
Yes.
before.
I asked my Chinese friend John Google Translate, and he helped me out with the translation there.
Oh, good. Nice guy.
So here we have basically some pretty good all-round Worlds Collide. Most of the things that you would want to do in a Keyforge game, this deck will do and do it pretty well.
Yeah, it
So
just does a bit of everything, really. You look at the stats and just across the board, it's just kind of like good. You got good Ember control, you got good artifact control, board clear, speed, board like just everything you need to just sit down and go, right, yeah, I'm gonna whatever you do, I'm gonna have at least an answer for somewhere in this
yeah.
deck.
So if you need to take the Ember away, you've got a TMTP, a Ronnie, E-Dies, stuff like Trust No One, Brand, Frayne, Garcia, like plenty of stuff.
Yeah, you want to draw
If
some cards. You got your Town Vapors, you've got your Edai, you got your Zenic.
and then you've got a bunch of additional efficiency, and you have Tabers and Quants if you want to play more cards, as well as a Val Jericho. And I think the combination of both leaders could get some very silly things happening.
Yeah, I think arguably two of the best leaders in the game, just because they have like static effects that just always trigger, and also like good leads having combination with each other in that you can end a turn with Zens in the middle, play some things to get Jericho back in the middle, and then play more things to get Zens back in the middle once again. If you're allowed to do that, that can be some really gnarly turns doing those things.
Yeah, you've got your board clear in the Quadrina Flux, Red Alert, and then a couple of other bits and bobs around the place.
Mhm.
Zaps, Twin Bolts. Normal Exploiter could be very handy.
Yeah, definitely. And it's double hox to deal with someone's artifacts too if they've got something nasty, and it gets you a benefit. And then if they don't, you've got some. I mean, you got something like a fetch drones, which are probably not overly devastated to lose, really, if you want to just get an extra ember for it. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, it's just a solid deck.
yeah. And uh, if you need to raise ahead, you've got a 20 creature board with some decent efficiency. It's probably going to be able to reap out pretty regularly.
Definitely will, definitely will. Okay, the second deck we'll talk about is Odin e l'Aggressivo, which has recently gone up to 97 SAS, and you can certainly see why, because this deck is
Uh,
brutal.
yeah, so I mean, this is some classic coda control. You have triple control the week,
Hmm.
which is, I think, the core of the deck and how it wins games, just pushing people into full turn skips or, like, at the very least, a kind of shitty turn.
Yeah, yeah,
And then it will recycle those back because you've got Help from Future Self to reshuffle your discard into your deck, and then you've got the Nova Archaeologist to get them back as well.
hmm yeah. You've also just got useful cards even outside of the 20 disruption, which is definitely earned through stuff like, as well as what Callum just mentioned, Scrambler Storms, Miasmas, things like that.
Yeah.
But stuff like Desania, great card to have, especially against like any decks that do try and do like the Auto Encoder thing, anything with Ultra Gravitron, anything trying to do like a big E-Die archive strategy we've seen a few times in this tournament already.
Yeah,
You
just
know,
such a powerful response to a very common tool in top level decks.
yeah, and then the shadows isn't the best shadows you'll ever see. It's but it's still got like generally useful things like Couple and Eye of the Thieves. If you can get them to stick around, Dodge is always happy to see. Miasma, really good card, especially with a phase shift. Can be playing that out of
Mm.
house very easily. Stuff like Key of Darkness, Pawn Sacrifice aren't the best cards, but Pawn Sacrifice
I
with a
don't
bad
know.
penny can be fine.
Don't be lumping Pawn Sacrifice in with Key of Darkness.
Yeah, that's true. That was harsh. That was harsh. But
Pawn,
that's
Pawn
harsh on Pawn
Sacrifice
Sacrifice.
is a perfectly good card.
Yeah, but Key of
Um,
Darkness is not, and it's arguably one of
no,
the worst cards ever printed. I'm just gonna
it's
hover
really
over it here so we can all shame it. Force your key at +6 current cost. If your opponent has no Ember, force key at +2
boo
current cost.
boo this card.
Yeah, it's just I don't know
Yeah,
what they were thinking.
and the deck just has 16 pips, and so we'll generate Ember quite quickly as it's locking you out of turns.
Yeah, it's again. I think this is a thing you'll see, especially across Lorenzo's decks, but generally quite a Hamburg Atlantean thing as well. Is their decks tend to be reliable, is the word I'd use for it, where you will just
Yeah.
see a lot of answers to pretty much any question you can expect to be asked
And
by
it
in
will
a keyboarded game.
consistently produce this as well.
Yes. And finally, we have Specialist Sandstorm Griefswald. I think one of the decks we've probably commentated most across our entire commentary careers. And I think we've come to decide that this deck is just nope in deck form.
Yeah, just like if you want to do a thing, it will not let you do that thing.
Yeah, want a Fortune
So
Key, we're going to break key it. Want to steal some Ember, we've got a Vault Keeper. Want to destroy effects, Purify Souls, want to use cards, Skippy Time Hog. Want to have
two Skippy
Embers
Time
spread
Hog. That's
across your whole
double Skippy
board.
Time Hog.
Equalize, going to put it on one creature instead. I want to reap Opposition Research, going to stop you right there. It just, everything has everything you want to do. It can't stop you fighting. But with a board of 23 creatures, you're generally not going to be doing too much of that anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like yeah, go on, fight me, and I have like a 4/2 Salvador, like a 5/2 Purifier of Souls.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can win a bunch of these fights if that's what you want to do.
Yeah,
And then on top of
gonna put shoulder arm on my bulwark just to on my bulwark with the
yeah,
balls rather.
6/2 Dino Knight.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah, and then you've got the double Mark of Dis on top of all of that.
Yeah.
And then quite a few enhancements throwing around as well, like 21 enhancements, 7 capture, 9 damage, 5 draw with Cronus and Maleficorn.
And that's sort of 7 capture with a Scrivener Fabian too.
Oof,
and 9 damage pips with a Maleficorn. So, you know, like, oh, I got all these pips that are just suddenly way better now. And also 5 draw pips with a Cronus. So,
yeah, so it's basically just sort of shut down anything you want to do, whilst also building up a big board full of chunky Sanctum creatures that you can't deal.
Yeah, I love this deck. This deck is very much my kind of playstyle in that it's build a big board, stop your opponent knock your opponent off their game plan, and just kind of reap out until you win. And that's why I always love watching Specialist play. It's just it's so good.
I mean, I hate it, but he plays it very well, which is entertainment in of itself.
He does indeed. So what we'll do now is we'll move into EASYGALLINA's decks.
Yeah. So, EASYGALLINA out of Italy. One of the only players, I think the only one in the KFPL not associated to a team. Which I think is all, given the amount of like deck borrowing and sharing that goes on and mutual practice, is quite impressive, really.
That is impressive, definitely, yeah.
And here we start off with Opal Chimera the Voltaic. And an AoE choice, which is rarer, but it is the sort of one of the top level AoE archetypes you see, right? You have Jenka decks, you have sort of Ganganaut type things, and then you have Brig in of itself, sometimes Heart of the Forest, and then this sort of thing, where it has a lot of pips, it's very disruptive, and steals a whole bunch.
It does indeed, yeah. I mean, so we'll look at the dis first, and you just got some just annoying things to deal with. So like double Color Week, annoying. Color Subordination, very annoying. Soul Keeper on, say, like a Silver Key Imp, where you're like, well, I have to destroy this thing, it's going to destroy my best creature. Dust Imp, annoying. Anguish, when Lash Broken Dreams, annoying.
Yeah, not finished with you to recycle a lot of the creatures, like your Dust Imps, your Ronnies, various of the Logos things.
Yeah.
It's all going to be very irritating.
Yep, and then we move to the logos, which again is an uncharacteristic logos that you generally, if you're seeing logos in AoA, you're expecting to see a Brig, and we see the bird but not the egg with the Binate Rupture.
I don't know. That has a lot of the stuff in, right? You've got Redacted, which is pretty big.
Yeah.
In a lot of decks, and very hard to deal with potentially. You have some archiving with the Lab Works and the Titan Librarian. You've got a Eureka. I do want to talk about the project set because I love the Project ZYX
You are a big fan of them, yeah.
It's just very cool, and you don't see it that much at this level because it sort of just doesn't quite hold up as consistently as other AoA Logos cards. You also don't see it with AoA.
But one thing we did notice in our kind of pre-game chat was a combo that would be cool is if you get Project ZYX to fire and you've used Binate Rupture, you could hit potentially too much Protect and do a pseudo Brig, which I think it's gonna be difficult to do, but if we see it, I'll be very excited because that'd be cool.
It could just be pretty fun, yeah. Yeah, and then the Shadows is like almost all pips or steel.
Mhm.
So double TMTP, double Ronnie, double Sucker Punch. Just
Yeah.
gonna go real fast. Two Life for Life's always good. Sadly missing a Brand.
But Miasma can be a really good one too, especially with the amount
Mm,
of steel you've got as well. And like Team TP Ronnie, great combo just to be able to
yeah,
be like, I'm gonna steal all your Ember and then steal one more tick off check with a Ronnie.
and doubled up so it's consistent as well.
Indeed, indeed. So second deck we'll look at here
We
is the
have,
Worlds Collide deck.
which is Mummy Priest of Prismapolito.
Mm-hmm.
And we do have to start with something we don't like, I'm afraid, which is the Kixel Stone. A lot of people big
Boo.
fans of the stone.
Boo the Quixel
Uh,
Stone.
Team Screech for Bob, not really. But
No.
this is a Kixel Stone deck, and I think could perform very well with it on the board.
Don't throw stones in Screech for Bomb houses. I don't know.
People in Keyforge houses shouldn't throw stone. I don't know where I'm going
Yeah,
with
don't
this.
worry.
Either way, I consulted some of our Kixel Stone aficionados in the UK Discord scene. Shout out to them, and
Mhm.
they were of the opinion that this is a pretty decent Kixel Stone deck. You sort of have a tight board of a couple of creatures with a lot of efficiency, like your Kirby's or your Tabers, and then you can play a lot of actions beyond that.
Yeah, I think you also got potential to do like a really tight Logos board. Like, say, if you can get a Titan Guardian down with a Hapsis and Edie,
Mm,
you can like really just hold down that board, like, drawing cards, keeping your opponent's Ember key costs up, and with like cutthroat researchers and information exchanges and stuff like that, you just got a really good way of just kind of keep knocking them off like smaller bits of Ember and forcing them to go higher. At which point you're probably being ready to pummel them with the too much to
ooh,
protect.
I've just clocked the quadricorder as well,
Yeah.
which has potential to make those cutthroat researchers in the TMTP really good.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be an interesting one. I mean, I think the one weakness it has it doesn't have the best board clear, especially because Red Alert. If you're getting Crystal Stone down, Red Alert's going to be worse because obviously they're not going to have
Yeah,
more creatures than you, regular ease, and then Quintrino Flux. It's a difficult one to use, especially when I think a lot of the creatures you're seeing here aren't creatures you want to lose. They're all creatures that you probably care about a decent bit and are really going to want to be using, like, like say, like your chain gangs you want to keep around, Hells and Spears, Sense Chief
mm,
Garcias, Kirby's,
a lot of stuff you'd
Edie.
want to keep.
And also the problem again with Quintrino Flux is a lot of the creatures in this deck, same power. Like you're seeing a hell of a lot of threes, you're seeing a lot of fives, and you're seeing a lot of fours and twos as well.
Yeah,
It's
there's
very tight.
not a huge amount of variation.
Mm,
Uh, but then I think you could whack the stone down and just greatly reduce the need for board control.
indeed, indeed.
Um, and you also have the shadow set, which could be very painful to play
Hmm.
against. You've got TMTP and then a bunch of things that take one away in the like Trust No One, Skeleton Key, Ronnie, Hugger Mugger.
Yeah, but also chain gangs with double subtle chain as well can not only obviously gonna get you to steal, but also just if you can just keep playing and discarding cards in your opponent's hand, if you're getting rid of some
Yeah,
key pieces, which you often can with the random discards, sometimes you'll get something they don't particularly care about. Other times you'll hit like their TMTP or you'll hit their, key thing, and it can be
could
really
just be
nasty.
very irritating to play against.
Yeah, and
All in all, I think a pretty good deck.
last but by no means least, we have Lazaro, Mr. X, leader of the Villa.
Yeah,
And
so
his
this is some
deck is so
this
silly.
is some this is some color, and I just want to look at the logos with a library access and 4 wild wormholes, uh,
Two
which is
lab works and a
just
3 month. It's card
like
draw city.
11 cards out of 12 in that logo has to do with card draw, and the 12th one is Twin Ball, and you're like, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Just the library access turns you can get out of this deck are just going to be absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I want to see it. I hope we see it so badly. I
Uh,
mean, we focus on that because with potential for like library access and like 4 wild wormholes to draw you 8 cards off of those wild wormholes is obscene.
And
But
yeah, what you do with those 8 cards is quite a lot because you look at the Untamed and you have a full moon, 8 creatures, uh, including a Dust Pixie, a Fuzzy Guru, and a Flaxia, and a Hunting Witch,
yeah,
and a Chowder. So you're just going to generate huge amounts of Ember. That's why
yeah.
there's 32 expected Ember.
Yeah, no nature's call, sadly, which, with both like with like the library access and all the wild wormholes, and obviously the Chota and stuff
Yeah.
could have kind of elevated this deck further. But even then, like this deck, if you get that good library access early on, this deck can just go so quickly that you're just gonna be like, oh, I don't care what you do. Like
Yeah.
I'm rolling with this, and let's see what happens.
This is ridiculous. Like, it just generates so much Ember so quickly. It has almost no Ember control. It has very minimal creature control. But who cares when you have an expected Ember of 32 and like 18 pips and 22 speed?
Yeah, it's just insane.
Yeah.
I very much hope we get to see this deck because it looks like some hot nonsense.
It does look ridiculous. So the
Okay.
question is, what do you think is going to be banned?
Oh, what is going to be banned? Unfortunately, I actually do think that Lazaro is going to be banned because I think the thing is that when you look at Lorenzo's decks, they're very good at like stopping things that require a board. Lazaro doesn't, right? Lazaro could just kind of go off and just be like, oh Christ, it's just doing its thing.
Yeah, but I think like Opal doesn't require a board either, really.
It requires more. You can do more with a board with Opal. I think that's more
Yes.
the thing.
Uh,
Whereas in Lazaro, you're just like you live and die by what you can do by just kind of like drawing endless cards. And I think as a result, Lorenzo is like, right, well, I can control other decks more easily than I can control this deck, so I'm going to ban the deck that's harder to control and could just
I
kind of punch a win.
I will deviate from your often correct opinion here. I think to say that you think he bans the Stone deck
Mm.
because I think Sandstorm and Violent Valley Agent are like 23 and 20 creatures respectively, and both are looking for that big board to sort of function and do things.
Mm.
So I could see the Stone deck getting a ban.
Okay,
Uh,
interesting.
I
Let's
think I think EasyGallina bans the triple control the weak deck.
Yes, I think so. I think looking at actually, yeah, maybe the Stone deck is a better shout because assuming Specialist isn't going to get a ban, that one doesn't have any artifact control, so Quixelstone would actually really mess with its game plan. So yeah, I think you may be onto
Yeah.
something there, Callum.
Although you've got some Hawks and you've got some Poltergeist, so maybe
Yeah, but not in Sandstorm.
not in
You don't.
Sandstorm. Yeah.
That's the issue. And if you assume that Odin is going to get banned, which I think is reasonable because it's 97 sass and disgusting.
And has been banned a lot.
Yeah, I think then yeah, you may be right. Actually, we will see the Quixelstone deck banned. But yeah, I think I ban Odin. Like 3 control the weeks with the rest of those houses is just oh god, no, no.
Just no. I don't want to be like we play this for fun. I don't want to be dealing with that.
Ain't nobody got
You give
time
me
for
a,
that.
you give me a choice. I'm going to avoid having to deal with that.
Exactly. Um, and yeah, well, we'll see who is correct as we move on into the game portion of the episode. See you in a second.
I'm pretty hyped.
Hi there. Welcome to the game portion of the episode. On the top of the screen, we have Lorenzo playing the deck that I don't know the name of because it is in Chinese.
Violent Valley Agent Randolph.
Thank you very much. And on the bottom of the screen, we have Galina playing Mumia Sakeradot di Prismapolito.
So the Stone deck escapes the ban as Lorenzo chose to ban Mr. X to avoid that nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
And then, unlike all the other people so far, Kalina chose to ban Sandstorm rather than Odin.
Oh, that is interesting.
And I did find out through some conversation that the deck did belong to a friend of his in the past. So that might have had some influence as he feels as though he can maybe manage to take it on compared to a lesser known quantity of Sandstorm. I suppose we'll see if that comes back to haunt him.
Very interesting. And we see Galina, well, both Galina and Lorenzo holding their open hands. We see a hidden stash archiving something. We do not know what.
It's a mystery.
A delicious mystery. But Tautau Vapors, both players archiving turn 1. Twin bot emissions is for the Ember. Edai archiving another thing, and then a Quant. And
Got to be pretty happy with that opening turn if you're Lorenzo, I think.
yeah, very happy. 4 cards out. Do a bit of drawing, filter your deck a bit. Always very good to see. And Galina, though, what is he going to respond with? Chooses logos. Plays Dr. Millie, going to be able to archive 2 cards there. Because, of course, Dr. Millie does not count itself. Cutthroat Research, just for the Ember, and a Babbling Bibliophile. Oh, and an Edai. Nothing to archive though, just playing it out there to increase the key cost and say, come at me.
But did manage to empty his whole hand,
He
so.
did, definitely. I've got to be happy with that.
But Quant lives, so we'll see if Lorenzo can do any shenanigans.
Yeah. And Lorenzo choosing a house here.
Could be in for a lot of draw if both of these boards stick for any period of time.
Definitely could be. I've got to think though, you prioritize and get rid of that babbling bibliophile. You know, reap draw 2 cards, such a strong effect.
Perhaps.
I just don't think there's a perhaps about it, really.
Well, I've played a deck with a bibliophile in a bunch, and it is sometimes lives, sometimes doesn't. I think people overvalue it, perhaps, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose you've got to think that with the amount of archiving that Gallina's done, do you think he's going to take Logos again, even if he can reach to draw 2 cards? Having also, I think, played a 4th card in Cutthroat Research. And we do see the fight with the Edai and the Trust No One to steal one. So clearly, Lorenzo deeming it sufficient enough a threat to put a damage onto his Edai. But Gallina gonna Obliate, I assume, the Edai here.
I could see a case for Quant, but Edai is probably a logical choice.
Yeah. Discard a Psyops to Lang with a Subtle Chain. I don't think Lorenzo could be too devastated by that. Ronnie Rosocks a Steal one and a Skeleton Key.
So Siren of Lang is good, but there are more crucial targets to make
Definitely.
the deck work.
Katrina Flux is going to wipe the board here. As the CXO table comes down, as the Sense Chief Garcia.
So just a bit of back and forth so far. Both players trying to build up a little bit of a board, and there's the
Flux right back
in response.
We're Helmet and Spears. Xenos ready to capture one.
Will Spears live? That's a significant question here. Has gone Shadows.
No, does not. Mugs it immediately. Just mugged to death.
Came to the wrong neighborhood. Yep. Instantly mugged.
Throws hot coffee in its face and is horribly burned and dies.
And a decent Shadows turn, besides that, drops 2 more creatures.
Yep, Javinda, Yancey Gang, both 2 very good creatures. Yancey Gang, obviously the almost twin of Pit Demon. Interesting conversation we had recently about why Yancey Gang never feels quite as good as Pit Demon almost. It's a funny one.
I think because normally you get stealing in Shadows quicker. So a bit of a world slide matchup so far. Both players just trying to deal with the other person's board and preventing them from getting a wide range of creatures out.
But I think if you're Lorenzo, you got to be worried that Quetzal Stone is coming around the bend at some point, right? And you know your deck's got quite a few creatures that it wants to be playing if it can.
Yeah, hasn't discarded any of them so far though, so isn't operating as though the Quetzal Stone is there. And because he picked Logos, Gallina is going to get to the key first.
He is indeed first blood to Gallina. And going to play the Red Alert, though. Going to clear off quite a few of those creatures. Yancey Gang will live. And Commonwealth's Kirby going to come down as well. Put a quadricorder on the Yancey Gang. And of course, that effect does still affect Lorenzo, even though it's on Lorenzo's creature. Something always worth remembering about quadricorder.
Interesting you chose to ward the Yancey Gang on a previous turn rather than the Quant.
Yeah, I guess maybe just thinking not likely to play more Logos as much, whereas Shadow's more likely to come up. So once you have that Yancey Gang out.
Has had quite a few Logos turns.
Yeah, I think, and you got to think maybe what's in his archive too. You know, has he got too much to protect knocking around that could benefit from having a Yancey Gang out? We've already seen the Ronnie, so definitely it could be something to do with that. But Lorenzo having a little bit of a think here. Maybe that Forge of a Key and Zero Ember, kind of like maybe was thinking about doing a Shadow's turn, something that's not as good. And is maybe thinking, oh, do I do a Star Alliance turn instead as a result of that?
Could be weighing up just fighting the Yancey Gang into the Kirby, get rid of the quadricorder.
Could be, definitely, yeah, but we're going to see Logos. And Anomaly Exploit destroys the Yancey Gang, clearly not wanting that. Oh, just wanting to get this ends in the middle, I think probably is more likely than being worried about the quadricorder.
I think both, right? They're both like, the combination of the two is pretty solid.
Definitely is, yeah. And especially getting a ward on it too. Just happy to see that. And Starlight, since Chief Garcia coming down, reaps with the Kirby. Tactical Officer Moon, does he have an action or an artifact to play?
Interestingly, Tactical Officer Moon, when the Zens is the only creature on the board, so can't even get any benefit out of that. Screwing around with things.
But we've still not seen that Quixel Stone, and you've got to think Lorenzo here, big hand. Haven't seen that. I've forgotten the name, Valgerico yet. And Red Alert going to deal some damage across the board. So I have some Morpheus. Information Officer Grey going to be able to
Very
archive
nice.
a
2
couple of
cards.
cards. Ronnie Wristclocks and Hawk. Oh, so has the answer to that quick so now if it does come down, which is very significant. Oh, Navigator Alley, you're going to look at the top 3 cards twice. Absolutely no point to it, but probably feels quite good.
Capture 2. Yeah, so now I think we can confirm that that is an archive of Shadows cards.
Yes, almost certainly.
And once you show the Ronnie going into the archives, we haven't seen the TMTP yet either.
Yeah,
He is going to be able to hold that threat over Galina Mento's head very easily for the rest of the game, possibly.
definitely. And I think this is the thing we're seeing here now is that Galina's used both of his board clears in this Red Alert and his Quintrino Flux.
I was just thinking that.
This board is probably going to stick around for a little while here unless he uses all of his Star Alliance to fight into it, and that could be problematic at this point for Galina.
Has gone for Logos, and there's not a huge amount of removal there.
He is going to be able to ward that moon and use it to reap or fight. I think reap to draw a card, maybe more unlikely, but could just see the fight just to clear away a threat like Information Officer Grey.
Try and ditch Morpheus.
Definitely, yeah. Morpheus would be a strong one. But we shall see.
I think he's now weighing up his options, what to fight, whether to reap.
Yeah, of course. There is Assault 2 on Tactical Officer Moon, so, but not relevant in this case. It just kills that Information Officer Grey.
Doesn't want any more archiving to happen. Also, with a Ronnie in the archives, Morpheus could hit real big.
It definitely could. I hadn't even thought of that. Yeah. But with only 1 Ember in Galina's pool, you've got to think that Shadows is going to be staying in the archive for the immediate future. But I mean, got to think Star Alliance here. Like there's an argument that if you've got Logos in their hand, then you've got those anomaly exploiters with the hologramophones, with the Zens, you could do some bits there definitely, especially if you can get the Zens back in the middle. But
we have seen a lot of Star Alliance.
We have.
I wonder if he has a Quintrino. Are they both Quintrino Flux?
Yeah, they both use their fluxes.
I think we have a Red Alert from Lorenzo still.
We do see Star Alliance coming on. Coming on out. Does he have any way to draw a card in Star Alliance at all? Because that Navigator Rally's ability at the moment isn't doing anything. But if he could draw 1 card, it could definitely kind of like let him know what his subsequent turns are going to be. It could be useful information.
Does not seem to have any way to make that Navigator Rally combo off.
That's big sad. But Lorenzo just having a bit of a think here. It's chosen Star Alliance, maybe just kind of working out an order.
Also, I think just weighing up some fights.
Definitely, yeah.
I might be willing to trade that Navigator Alley and the Frame into a Kirby and a Garcia, perhaps.
Got to be thinking we're going to see a Jericho come down here. So maybe even thinking, is it possible to hit Jericho in the middle on this turn? And if so, is it worth trying to get it in the middle? Or do I want to keep the Zens where it is?
It's an interesting question. I don't immediately know the answer to that as to which would be better. I'd be tempted by Jericho because I think it's more fun, but I think Zens might be just more consistent over time.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think I probably keep Zens in the middle, but it would depend on what I've got in my hand in my archive and how good like playing out of house could be. But I think Galina's just kind of making sure that Lorenzo's still there. Lorenzo just saying he's doing a quick thinking. To let him know.
No timer on the game, so they're playing it fast and loose there.
Yeah. But we'll keep an eye for that and see if it went longer than it should have been. But I don't think it does from memory of having recorded this. And we'll go for the zap.
It's just gonna fight a couple of
things. There is the Jericho,
board.
but not gonna try and get it to the middle, keeping the Zens in the middle here. And goes up to check on 6. Of course, Galina does have that skeleton key, has the ability to knock Lorenzo off check if he wants by going to shadows, but may not have the rest of the hand. Still haven't seen the Quixel Stone. And we're down to 6 here.
I feel like there is a huge amount of similarity in how these decks function.
There very much is, yeah. I mean, I suppose
I
you're
keep,
seeing two decks from the same set with the same houses, so it's not a
uh,
massive surprise.
yeah, it's I keep getting the deck list mixed up because it's like they both have Quintrino Flux and Red Alert.
There it is. There is the stone.
The stone has arrived.
And we do see a Comos to Kirby coming on down. A Trust No One to get the steal, knock Lorenzo off check. Off of that Comos to Kirby playing the Trust No One. But I think Lorenzo here got to be quite happy with the situation. You know, got a hand of 8 cards, archive of 5, got a nice Star Alliance board if he wants to use that.
Yeah, I think you're not super unhappy with the board that you have at the time in which the stone happened.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you are seeing Galina starting to get on the verge of kind of reshuffling. Let's get those red alerts back, those fluxes back, but you're also seeing like a decent variety of powers on the board where you're like, well,
Yeah, might struggle.
I mean,
But
I
I
think
think
you'd
that,
probably go 5s and 4s maybe, but hard
yeah,
to say.
I think the thing you have here is that it was a play to try and set up a big TMTP.
Yeah. See twin bottom mission, I imagine, on the Hapsis. Oh, no, on the Titan Guardian, the Kirby. I thought we could see it on the Hapsis, but yep, going to use Anomaly Exploiter to kill the Kirby and then just fights with that Zens and ward the Morpheus 2.
Goes to 6 again, playing it very
Indeed.
cool.
Stay cool, Brett. Stay cool. I'm going to see a Hugger Mugger come down, knocks him off check again. And Skeleton Key probably captures one onto the Hapsis. And a Vinda coming down. A Pestering Blow. I'm going to take out that Brain.
And now we move into a sort of very delicate Kixelstone related scenario.
We do, yeah. I mean, we know Lorenzo's got the Hawk in the archives, so we know that he can get rid of this Crystal Stone whenever he wants. It also, at the
But
moment, can't get the Jericho or the Zens into the middle as a result of that Crystal Stone.
yeah, that's going to be quite irritating. And I think why he took out the Frame as opposed to removing one of the wards.
Indeed, indeed. Lorenzo having a bit of a think here, though. Understandably, imagine like with 8 cards in hand, 5 in the archives, and 4 on the board, you got a lot of things to think around here.
Don't think the Shadows Archive will come out anytime soon.
I think it'll just come down to how much he wants to get rid of that Crystal Stone and how limiting that is to his strategy at the moment. Because it's not the heaviest creature deck, but it's got quite a few creatures.
It's got 20.
Yeah, it's and yeah, we are going to see Shadow Stone. I think we're just going to see the Hawk just to get rid of that Crystal Stone.
Enough.
Just like can't abide it really, and also gets rid of the Skeleton Key too. Get himself onto a canny bit of Ember there as well.
Yeah, it's taking a bit of a risk here. There's the TMTP still knocking about.
Yeah, and I think, but the thing with that is, though, you can TMTP him right back.
This is very true.
I think that might be why we're seeing the Brend as well, just being like, if you TMTP me, then I want you to be like as close to kind of forging already, like to 6 as you can be already. So if I TMTP you back, I get the most back possible. I think that's a smart play.
Yep, gives him 2 Ember with the Morpheus to do so.
Indeed, he does.
These decks are very similar.
This is interesting. It's a real, really cagey kind of game we're getting here, and I'm a big fan of it. Upper place to Ronnie and steal 2 back.
I mean, yeah, I suppose.
So maybe my idea of his strategy of being like, I want to keep this as high as possible may not have been correct, but has got the Jericho into the middle here, so we can play the Zap.
Ooh, I wonder if he steals now.
I think we might be seeing how much we've got. Star Alliance logo. I can only get 3 with the Zap though because the decks are so similar.
Well, can take out the Brend.
You could take out the Brend, but is that dangerous to do at the moment when you how likely it is for going to have TMTP?
I mean, he's just going to TMTP him right back, and the thing is, we'll see if he's got anything else to take him off 6 because it might be giving him the key if he does this, but might not care.
With an I try.
And so the TMTP thing swings back towards Lorenzo. I think having set this up very nicely.
There is a TMTP for 7.
Does he have anything else though to steal?
I mean, discards Trust No One at random. That is quite big.
That's real
but
big.
does have the Yancey gang on board still. Oh, but Chain Gang can
now steal one.
Steal one to knock Lorenzo off check. That is big. And discards a Tattoo of Vapors at random. And close from Lorenzo. I think I agree with him there.
Yeah, so went for 2 random discards that he had to survive to keep that TMTP presumably in hand.
Yeah. Oh.
That is some high nerves there that
Yeah.
Lorenzo must have been feeling. Does he have another one?
You can. Oh, he's not got any way of drawing, has he? In shadows, because the only thing I could think that he could do would be if he'd be able to draw the subtle chain again, but he can't. And here we are going to see.
Chooses to fight the Yancey gang off the board.
Yeah.
Just aiming for the key.
An interesting.
Jericho goes in the middle, and so now we get the TMTP.
There he goes, the TMTP, yeah. And Navigator Alley as well. Going to look at the top 3 twice, just for the bants. And Information Officer Grey. It's nothing to archive, but it's fun. We're having fun.
Oof, 2 cards discarded. That was some nervy Keyforge. And I think
Reaps with Scythe Morpheus.
Lorenzo coming out for the TMTP dance a little bit ahead. And the thing keeps him off with the frame.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think more than a little bit with 12 Ember.
But if Galina got the second key, I think it'd be closer. But yeah, because he kept him off there.
Yeah, I think you still got the Brand though, is the thing, and
that too, yeah.
Lorenzo's got, I don't know how good the ways he has of destroying it is, but I think he's got some good ways of destroying it. And Cutthroat Research though, going to take 2. Do we remember? Yeah, 3 Cutthroat Researches in Galina's deck could come real handy here. He can pick up a couple of them, but only has 1. Archives. See, and what's the Brand? The Fanatic. Very nice.
Sneaky. But I think was digging for answers, because obviously with a huge board, Lorenzo can just reap out fairly comfortably.
He can indeed.
So unless Galina's got very lucky and has redrawn the TMTP.
But even if he needs it in conjunction with something like a Ronnie. Getting this to 6 isn't helpful here. It's the final key of the game, obviously. And I think Lorenzo, not got the best ways of knocking Galina off of check here. He's going to mug the Brand the Fanatic just to take that ward off. Trust No One could be big if it's available. It is. Does he have Trust No One, or is that it? I'm getting the decks confused now.
They both have Trust No One.
They both have Trust No One. Okay, but yeah, Trust No One could be big here. In terms of getting rid of, obviously there's the Vinder, but also there's Brand and the Ronnie, so it would allow that Brand to be destroyed. Knock Galina off check and presumably put the game out of reach for Galina 2 by doing that. Navigator Rally, going to look at the top 3.
Navigator Rally still doing some work, because obviously if you can rearrange the top 3 cards.
Trino Flux. Oh no.
Takes out the Brand.
I hadn't even thought of that.
Just the power of
fights the Vinder just to rub salt in the wounds a little bit. Discards the CXO Tabor to keep the Zens in the middle. As well. Casually.
So does get, as predicted, the effect of both leaders in that turn. We had a mug on the Starlight's turn, and then wiped out everything on one half of the board to put Zens back in the middle.
It's a coalition is what it is.
Teamwork
makes the dream work. Don't call it Star Alliance for nothing.
Freeze frame. End thing, credits roll.
They do indeed.
Do that thing from the 80s movies where it explains what everyone is now doing in the future.
Captain Val Jericho opened up a successful chain of ice cream shops. And Galina, I assume here, just lamenting his poor fortune.
Yeah, I mean, I can't bother to do the maths on whether you discard 1 card with 2 random discards would be out of 6. Has got shadows, so might have something here.
Tracer Trust No One to steal 2. Gotta assume he doesn't have TMTP there, though, which he probably really needs.
That was what he was looking for.
Oh, and a Ronnie as well. Oh, so close, yet so far.
Not quite there, yeah.
But excellent game.
Violent Valley Agent getting the better of Mumia.
Indeed.
In this mirror match.
Yeah. So yeah, good, great, excellent first game.
Yeah.
High drama towards the end there, but we
And
will
I think
now.
I think it was the leaders that swung it.
It
Just
really was.
that little bit of extra draw, the little bit of extra play, being able to say play a TMTP on a Star Alliance turn, so I could use the Frame, having lost the Trust No One,
Mm,
just swing it back in Lorenzo's direction. Very well
very
played.
nice. Yeah, we'll move on to the second game now. See you in a second. Hi, welcome to game two. Once again, we have Lorenzo on top of the screen. This time he's playing Odin L'Aggressivo. And on the bottom of the screen, we have Gallina playing Mumia Sacerdote di Prismapolito.
So how well can Mumia deal with the triple control the
Mhm.
shenanigans? Turn one, hit stash again.
Yep.
Just good opening card.
I'd say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But
I think it's a very good, even though we didn't win the game, it's a very good first turn.
it is definitely, yes. And we see Time Traveler, just slightly better first turn, I'd say. Doctor Escatera.
Possibly.
Scrambler Storm, no actions for Gallina here. He's going to go Logos as a result. Plays a Babbling Bibliophile, Hapsis, and anything else. And an Academy training on that Hapsis, and that's all she wrote.
Interesting, because I don't think he'll be reaping much of Tapsis, because can fight a thing and draw the card and get the same effect.
Yeah, I guess it just kind of gives you options though. Like if there's nothing to fight with the Hapsis for whatever reason, you can reap with it then and still get a good benefit. It kind of
Also
an interesting card. I think it is worth just not just whacking on something and not waiting to get a non-logos thing. But it's definitely better if you've already got something on the board and then make it logos.
Yeah.
Lorenzo, though, having a bit of a think here. Taking his time. This is a time when I'd love to be able to see the hands and theorize wildly. What could be doing? What could be thinking? He goes to Dis, plays the key to Dis, control the weak, into Star Alliance, and ends turn. Maybe a couple of cards played, but key to Dis, nice to get out nice and early. Hold that sword of Damocles above your opponent. And Gallina going to go Star Alliance, as he must. Plays the Comm Officer Kirby. And
I think
Oubliette to purge the Time Traveler.
Nice.
Oof, nice one to see purged.
And I think the key to this is perhaps why you might have hit Star Alliance with the control of the weak, encourage him to build a board.
Yeah, and we see the key to this straight away. And plays key to Darkness, plays the Miasma, and plays a Noddy the Thief. Rapid. Oh, plays a bait and switch as well. I nearly missed that.
Yeah, went very quick.
He did
Just
indeed.
Several of these shadows can't do much, so I'm just going to play all of them out very quickly.
Yeah. Lightning fast. Trust no one to steal one back. Ronnie Wristlocks to steal one as well. Justin discarded at random by Subtle Chain as Skeleton Key. Justin, nice one to hit actually. You know, that's functionally 2 Ember that Lorenzo isn't going to get, which is pretty good.
But if you're trying to pick discards, you want to discard randomly out of hand.
Yeah, there are some better commons, namely 3 controller weeks that you would be wanting to hit.
Yeah.
And Lorenzo is going to go Dis, Poltergeist, that Skeleton Key, capture onto Noddy the Thief, control the weak, into Shadows. Oh. Blech. Disgusting.
Just. Wonder at what point Gallina might be regretting his choice to allow the step to be played.
Yeah, indeed. He does an inside track though, so we are gonna be seeing Pestering Blow on the Noddy the Thief is very good actually. Stops him using that action ability and means he's gonna have to fight, which with that Ember on it, probably not gonna want to do. And
so Lorenzo, I think might be feeling okay at the moment because you've survived 2 control the weeks very early.
And you've weathered them pretty well as well. Like the Starlight turn was fine. Pestering Blow on something with Steve is useful. Getting a Reap as well, fine. Like it's as it goes. And getting rid of that Time Traveler too. Really good to see. With the help from Future Self still knocking around.
Yeah, can still use the help from Future Self to reshuffle, but you don't get that extra Ember and the extra draw straight off the top.
You do not. Also an extra 2-power creature. Not wrong with that. Oh, little ginger friend.
Tim E. Traveler.
Indeed. But Lorenzo having a bit of a think here. Trying to decide. And he's going to go Shadows. Poison Wave, Miasma, and Pawn Sacrifice. Gallina not going to forge. Lorenzo is on check though.
Just playing some pips.
Yeah, playing some actions. And Gallina going to go Star Alliance. Moves cards from the archives into the hand here. Is going to get... Oh, Sense Chief Garcia going to stop the Forge. Quadricorder straight onto that. Red Alert discarded. And that's all she wrote. I suppose not that many creatures in Lorenzo's deck. Red Alert going to have a limited usefulness. Just wants to stop that key being forged. And he's going to stick on that 6 Ember. So he's Spectral Tunnel, a Dexterity to capture one, Phase Shift into a Succubus. And Lorenzo back on check with the 8.
So we're playing the TMTP dance again.
We most certainly are.
Although Galino's leading this time.
He definitely
Oh,
is.
no, wait. Lorenzo's got the graft. It's a different dance.
Different dance, yeah. Cut the research to steal 2, though.
Yeah, and with the quadricorders, stops the key, which I think is the crucial aspect.
Dr. Millie allows him to archive 2. And that's all she wrote there. Only going to drop to 5 because of that Succubus.
Okay, so Galina takes a waltz step, goes to 8, says, let's see if you TMTP me now.
Yeah, I assume does the cool thing in like Kung Fu moves where he like beckons to him with one hand. And looks
because if you get hit with the graft for 8 when you're at 8, I think that's not too bad.
No, not too bad at all. And Lorenzo having a bit of a think here. I suppose probably would be 9 though, because I imagine he's going to hit him with the graft. He's going to fight with the Dexterity into probably that Sense Chief, give him that Ember back and take the all 3. I would assume that would be the case, but might not have the graft. I mean, it's drawn not a small amount of cards, but 11 cards left in the deck. You know,
13 left for Galina. They both could be bluffing.
Yeah, they could indeed.
He's weighing up his options.
Yeah, but he's going to go logo, so got to make me think we're going to see the graft. If we see the Dexterity fight, which we do, yeah, I've got to think the graft is coming then. And there it is. But does Galina have that Team TP in response? That's the question.
So Lorenzo goes up to 10.
Yeah. 13 cards left in the deck. So, and Star Alliance, you've got to think he doesn't.
Unless he can hit it off a Kirby.
And very true. Yep, hadn't thought the Kirby is choosing Star Alliance. Taking a small step to survey territory. Moves cards in from the archives, though. And he hidden stashed that card right at the start of the game, too.
Whatever very.
Come off the Kirby. Xena training, so almost certainly does not have that Team TP, unfortunately. Quintrino Flux? Yes, 2 supports. I was like, why was he killing his own Kirby? But no, he's going to leave that Kirby alive. And the Quetzal Stone comes down. With an information exchange as well. Steal one. So got a fair bit of Ember off of Lorenzo there after the Team TP. Whether the Team TP pretty well did Galina, I think he's not going to be too devastated by that.
Yes, they're both at a key apiece.
I think definitely would have liked to have gotten rid of that Succubus, but
I think the Nova Archaeologist is almost a better call, I think.
Oh, definitely, for sure. But
and I think wanted to keep the Kirby alive. He's going to go for the stone.
Yeah, that's very true. I think it was the right decision, but yeah, I think if possible, would have liked to have killed both, but unfortunately not the case. But Lorenzo is going to get a key as well, 1 apiece now.
So I think perhaps one of the crucial questions now is where is the Poltergeist that we have in Odin?
Have we not already seen the Poltergeist hit the skeleton key?
I think that was the last. No, we have seen it. We have indeed seen it.
And control the weak into Star Alliance. Oof, not going to be thrilled about that, I don't think. Discards the Gateway. Plays a Pit Demon. And yeah, I think that control the weak could be pretty unpleasant for Galina here. Like whether the first 2 pretty well just discards that CXO Tabor. Doesn't want to give Lorenzo a chance to play more creatures, but that is
rough, like good. Functionally a turn skip.
Functionally, yeah, and I think the difficulty here is that Lorenzo doesn't really have that much reason to go much above like 6 Ember here at all. Like he's just happily just gonna sit here, keep steal a little bit. He's gonna get the Twin Bottom mission from Galina, put a bit of damage on the Pit Demon, plays the E-Die, archives something, and that's all. Yeah, it's a difficult trade. Means he has to fight the Pit Demon into the E-Die if he wants to get rid of it.
But I could see you making that choice.
Played it at this too, so you'd have to probably take a not great turn and do a not great fight. So I could maybe see this E-Die sticking around a turn, but we will see what Lorenzo decides to do.
Not much else useful in terms of dis you might want to drop down either. We've seen 3 control the weeks.
I mean, I'm gonna see
Something like
shadows.
uh,
I'm trying to think.
pawn sacrifice to take out the Edai, maybe.
I could definitely see that. I think that'd be a very fine trade. You'd be happy to make if you're Lorenzo.
Drop down Noddy the Thief number 2.
Yeah, be a strong one. Definitely hard to get rid of. With few creatures on the board, and pawn sacrifice is what we see. To take out that Edai, discards the bad penny, very reasonably.
Doesn't want to just have bad penny on the board as the sole creature.
I can't imagine why. And discards Noddy the Thief as well. Doesn't want Noddy the Thief as the sole creature either. We are going to see shadows from Galina though. Discards Avinda. Plays the Chain Gang. Do we have a subtle chain? We do. So, and discards a Dodger. Not what you want to see probably, but is gonna be able to steal one, and small deck here. So gonna be able to hopefully get quite a lot of use out of that that Chain Gang, I think.
And so we just saw a Dysania, which cost him the Titan Guardian that was in the archives.
It did indeed.
So I think knowing the Dysania was coming.
Yep, Shadows to return a subtle chain to their deck, plays a subtle chain, gets the graft at random. Very happy to see that, I'm sure.
Yeah, especially in the situation that he's in currently on 7 Ember.
And we see a damn Lorenzo. I'm going to return another subtle chain to the deck too. And yeah, I think maybe Galina's just gonna happy just to kind of get his steals with that chain gang and just kind of like do the chain gang dance a little bit. Also means that Lorenzo can't play any more creatures if he wants to as well. Is getting some cards off of that mother, which I'm probably quite happy about. But Galina here doing a little bit of a fight back here.
Yeah, I think this is adapting better to the stone matchup than Lorenzo's deck because it's a decent Kixel Stone deck, so just automatically does this.
Indeed. That subtle chain definitely helpful just to say like discarding those key cards. And I think the thing is, I suppose, I think we hadn't thought of with this Quixel Stone is that I think Chain Gang actually becomes more effective in this kind of deck because you're making your opponent discard like their creature cards a lot of the time because you just can't play them. Which means they tend to have more kind of like action cards you want to hit with a Chain Gang a lot more of the time. It's an interesting thing.
True.
But second key from Galina here. I'm going to see shadows once again. Too much to protect and a steal one. Subtle Chain discards the Escatera. Not thrilled about that one though.
Alas, with the Chain Gang we've fought off the board by Lorenzo, no extra steal there.
Alas, not.
But Galina on 5 with 2 keys, so is up there.
Yeah, he's doing well here.
But those control the weeks have been reshuffled in, and so could be coming.
Yeah, and that's the thing, could just make it impossible for Galina to get that final ember that he really desperately needs, especially with that mother as well, kind of increasing that card draw, bumping that up. Lorenzo, though, forging his second key as well, and taking a bit of time to think about his next move.
Close game.
Very close game, yeah.
Some sort of strong hits from Galina with the discards and the purging.
Yeah, and you can definitely see Galina like saying he knows kind of like Odin's deal now. He's definitely playing against it very well. You know, like even those control the weeks, I think like only one of them really hit him particularly hard. The other two, you know, he kind of rode out quite well. And you're definitely seeing this deck that we've seen crush a lot of players being taken to its limit.
Yeah, and I think might have been like perhaps more confident with the stone. Because obviously, even if it hadn't been purged, you wouldn't have been able to play that time traveler off the help from yourself.
No, he would not have. That's very true. And so just letting Galina know he's having a bit of think. You're gonna wonder what is he thinking about. I assume Keyforge, but specifically what?
He's thinking about dancing, which seems to be our main subtopic of this evening.
Yeah. Is he thinking about why is Bob-Omb made so bad in Worlds Collide?
When will they bring back Mars?
Never bring up Mars.
I swear it's been confirmed, hasn't it? It's been confirmed that it's coming back.
No, it's also been confirmed that it's never coming back because only Richard Garfield liked it and no one else wanted to do it. So
this is true.
I don't want Mars back. At me in the comments if you want, but just don't like it. Never liked it.
For hate mail, his address is Baron von Fabulous, 6 Baron Street.
Yeah, they named a whole
So
street after me. I'm sorry.
So we do see a control of the week.
We see Star Alliance though. I would have thought Shadows would have been the core, having seen like I think 3 turns in a row of Shadows.
Yeah, interesting.
I'm just going to discard a Succubus and a Stealer of Souls.
And
plays another control of the week to choose Star Alliance.
That
and
is
his third control of the week.
All 3 in the same hand. That is rough.
Oh, and discards the Helmsman Spears. Discards the Tactical Samoon, and turns out it was a good choice.
That could be game-losingly rough draws to have all 3 in the same hand like that.
It could be, definitely. Yeah, Scrambler Storm stop any actions.
But he might make it.
He definitely might, and it goes up to check. Do we have any creatures that can stop a key?
There's a Ronnie.
There's a Ronnie. There's a lol from Galina. I don't know if that's a good lol or a bad lol. We see Shadows. Hugger coming in the clutch. Discards the Subtle Chain.
Can't play the one card.
The Subtle Chain to get him the Ember.
6. Oh, this is brutal.
No.
Oh, it was so close.
I don't know. We're still in this. Lorenzo
still in it, doing the little happy face thing.
Oh, gonna see Dis coming in. Poltergeist gets rid of the Quixelstone, Dust Imp, and gets himself to 6. Does Galina have another way of knocking him off?
I'm not sure he does, because that previously felt like a all or nothing play.
It really did, yeah. Just couldn't get himself onto check, which may be crucial here. Logos Hologramophone gets himself to check.
Could be an E-Die.
Could be an E-Die. Academy Trading, maybe going for the Hail Mary here.
Oh, he's going for
fights the Dust Imp though. Cutthroat Research to steal 2. Information Exchange!
Oh! He got him! He might have got him!
He might have got him.
There's Miasmas.
There is a Miasma.
Still be here.
Oh, there could be a Miasma.
Oh, but what a play with the Dust Imp. That was
incredible.
Oh, this is tense. This is very tense.
This is so tense. This is like a camping trip. So tense.
Lorenzo's gone through a lot of his deck.
He has.
So
and
I think probably
there
does
is
have
2 Miasmas as well.
Double Miasma. But then Galina's got answers as well. He's got the TMTP. He's got some other steel.
But I think if you're Lorenzo, you're just not going to... I mean, yeah, we have the Ronnies. We have the TMTPs. We've not seen the Ronnie since the redraw, have we? I don't believe.
I don't believe so.
We've not seen the E-Die either. This game on a knife's edge.
Tantalizingly close from both players so
dancing with death. Lorenzo understandably thinking quite hard here. Oh.
More fancy footwork from both people.
Yeah, we also got to bear in mind phase shift is a thing.
Phase shift is a thing.
If he doesn't have Miasma, could potentially go to like Logo Spectral Tunneler, try and hit it off that. And like this, there's 2 Miasmas in the deck as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
And with 9 cards left, I don't think we've seen a single one. I can't remember. It's so difficult. This is why pre-recording is hard because you can't look at the discards and see.
I'm pretty sure we haven't seen any since the Health and Future Self reshuffle. So I saw some discs.
I think so, but
he's on Logos.
Gonna go Spectral Tunneler, reaping
so he's
with
looking
the mother.
For the draw first.
Yeah, is he just drawing to see what is, or is he goes for the graph? Phase shift.
Phase shift.
Miasma.
There it is.
No.
Oh.
Reach the scene. Okay, does Galina realistically needs a Team TP and a Ronnie here? I think.
I think so. Denied at the last by a Miasma.
And even then, that might not be enough. He might have drawn into a second Miasma.
He's gone
Hugger to draw.
I don't think he has it.
Twin Bolt Emission. Oh, perhaps this discarded. Hologramophone. And that's the game. Oh, so close.
Just the disruption coming from Odin there in the final 3 or 4 turns. He had a triple control the weak turn.
Yeah,
which kept him at bay and made him basically skip a turn. We had
Just
Yeah, we had
that.
a Logos turn with the Scrambler Storm
I would
going to check.
love to have seen Lorenzo's hand to know whether he drew that um miasma or he already had it.
Or if he drew the like, did he have the Scrambler Storm when he played the 5 discards? That was a wild ride. I thought
If he drew
oh
into
man.
that, that is the top deckiest of top decks. That is just
Oh,
ah,
what a Odin the aggressive, earning its 97 sass. Very difficult game for it.
beautiful.
Ugh. Horrible draws at the end. All 3 control the weaks in the same hand when you can't get to check.
Yeah.
Scraping over the line with a phase shift and a miasma.
Yeah. That was an incredible game by both players.
Well played, Gallina and Lorenzo.
Mm-hmm.
And Lorenzo remaining undefeated at the top of the group.
Yeah.
I think with that win, locking in his place as the champion of Group E, going through to the KFPL top 16.
I do believe so. But thank you very much, everyone, for listening. I have been David, Baron von Fabulous Lark.
I need a cold shower and some anxiety medication after that.
Yeah.
I've been Callum, the good Dr. Young.
We have been Team Scooch. Thank you for listening and goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, guys. Any long-time watchers will know this is the segment of the show where we just play a quick seal game. We do it if the game's only gone to 2, just because, especially with that last game where it's such a tense ending, that if you'd have seen that and known there wasn't another game after this, you'd be like, okay, well, Odin clearly wins. So we do this just to kind of like make it so it's not obvious who wins and kind of like give you that continued suspended disbelief as you're watching.
And boy, was that some suspense.
Yes, that was indeed. So I'm going to keep this hand.
Oh, I mulliganed.
Good. Always happy to see. And a mushroom man.
He wants to be a mushroom man.
I'm going to go with some Mars and make sure I play that in the right order. So I'll play this first. And then I'll play this boyo. And I'll play this. I know it doesn't matter, but I just feel like I should play it while it's ready. And then I'll remove that creature's stun. Happy days. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh god.
Yeah, my hand improved a lot when I drew the hunting witch after the first thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
I actually just for the hell of it, aggressively murder the. Well, with a compod on the board, I don't want to leave too many Mars things about.
If we're going to return a reveal. Oh right, yeah, I always forget compod. I was getting mixed up with return one and play another one.
Yeah, that's swap widget, which I don't think I've ever seen anyone use successfully.
I've seen someone use it successfully, but it's just generally not very good. No, no hunting witch for you.
Fair enough. There wasn't actually anything I could
guess
do.
you could say it's fair enough.
Some tumbleweed noises there for you, just to give everyone a time to really appreciate the Baron's jokes. I think is what you call them.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I don't know what you're talking about. Very funny. Everyone says so.
Sure, that's what everyone says about you.
Yeah. Tall and funny. That's what everyone says about me. There we go. You look after that, Protectrix.
How dare you redress my terms like that?
I'll redress whoever's turns I want to redress.
Yeah, you know what? The untamed fighting continues.
How dare you? No, my boy.
Don't think it's worth holding that life web. Doesn't seem hugely likely to go off.
Okay. Ooh, okay. Cool, let's do this then. So let's go with some of that.
So we have a classic Coda matchup here.
This deck's so bad. All right, we'll go with Moss.
Mine's not great.
Okay, so
2 compods.
Oh, I did this the wrong order. Oh well.
Yeah, you should have revealed 1 compod with the other compod.
Yeah. No, I realize that now, but oh well, we'll deal. That's fine. We'll get a nice reap with this one. Oh, I forgot that was an effective Grey Monk. I don't think I've ever reaped with Grey Monk before.
Yeah.
And
Do you want to play that
Blam.
EMP Blast? Oh, you're actually going to play it?
Yeah.
Okay, I was
because I gotta say
mocking
Blam.
you. I assumed you would not,
No,
because it killed a bunch of your own artifacts.
Yeah, but it kills your artifacts too, and you stunned your creature, and it gets me to check. And you've got
Getting you to check
Untamed Mars and Logos. I feel like your end control is not great.
Not great. Not great. But that'll do it.
Oh, you absolute pissing.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm going to make the beariest bear that ever...
Do it, come on. Do it, you coward.
But I could put it onto the Kehoe or the Snavelgayer.
Well, your cowardice shall be punished. Haha!
Oh.
Yeah. You deserve that.
Did I?
Yes, for being a coward.
This is pretty bad.
Good. Oh, going for the reaps. And they're lost in the woods.
Wait, no.
Okay. Cool. All right. Let's go with some of the lads.
Thing is, my creature control is also bad.
Good. Oh, the Grey Monk, why not? He seems like a nice dude.
Oh, fuck, it doesn't do anything because of the fucking Vault Keeper. Oh, well. Let's take out those guys.
Oh, that's very nice. Sanctum. Get blinded, you tree. Can the age-old strategy of reap a bunch with Sanctum win out? That is the question.
I mean, it's looking good so far.
It is. It's looking pretty nice.
I'm going to perhaps complicate that a little bit, at least, by playing these Mind Warpers.
Yeah, that would... Does it actually? It does actually, yeah. So what we'll do is this.
Kill them, you say?
No, worse.
much worse.
I had two of them, you see. Haha.
What have I got left in my deck that might make me not lose? Very little is the answer here.
Yes, it is. That's even better. Oh, actually. Oh. I just realized something fun I can do.
The concede button is in the top if you're looking for that.
No, you're going to hate this, though.
Probably, yes.
Oh, no, I can only do it once. No, well, it's still cool.
It does not make a difference.
No, but I forgot that Remiel isn't ready. It's a Mars creature. Oh, okay, I'll ready that.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't work at all as I thought it would, but well.
Either way, that's enough.
Well, no, it's never enough.
I was hoping a psychic network could save me, but it has not, so.
Good. Good.
Thus ends the game. I will concede because I can't be bothered to think about my final turn that much.
I also had I had an effervescent principle in the deck, but it was in the bottom 3 cards, so I was ready.
Not like you needed it.
No, but I was ready in case you went to check and I couldn't do. I was just like, oh, I might need this. I hope I don't, but I might. And yeah, good game, friend.
It certainly was a game. Gonna find out.
Yeah, well, as I said, we have been Screech Bomb Commentaries. Thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.
Bye-bye.